Happy Friday and Happy New Year. Thanks for starting out the new year watching Nip Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about a new miracle weight loss drug. Then, another TikTok famous plastic surgeons in hot water. We're going to check that out. Lastly, Sarah's going to tell us about some new fashion trends for 2023, and it's starting right now.
Live from Lincoln Center in the heart of the Dallas Metroplex, this is Nip Talk. An honest and uncensored show about plastic surgery, health, beauty, and lifestyle with your host, plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Hermann, and your co-host, entrepreneur and social media influencer Sarah Bennett. Now it's time to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of the topics everyone is talking about. It's time for Nip Talk.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Hermann. With me, as always, is my co-host Sarah Bennett. And in the box, Sarah, there she is.
Hi.
And in the box is the man and the legend, Travis.
What's going on? What's happening?
Oh, how you doing today?
Cannot complain. How about y'all?
Yeah, doing good.
Groovy.
Good.
Yep, starting off the new year. Yeah?
We're starting it.
All
It's
right.
here.
So, all right, did you guys do anything good for New Year's?
I chilled at home with my
That's
daughter.
right, you were planning to be at home. Oh, you had like the home party, right?
No, it was just me, my daughter, and my boyfriend.
Oh,
That's it.
okay. I thought you were having like some sparklers for the kids.
No, I mean I bought sparklers and some little
Well,
like
that's kind of a
fireworks and
party.
stuff.
I mean, you can't have sparklers and
yeah,
not call
it
it a
was
party.
just a three-person party.
Hey man, sometimes those are the best parties.
Yeah, it was cute.
Those
I got
are
her
called
some little
intimate
champagne
gatherings.
things.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what about you, Travis? Now, you were going to like some saxophone club or something.
It's closed. It was Sax Lounge.
Sax Lounge.
Sax
I was like,
Lounge.
I had to do with sex.
Yeah, I know. I remember like
No.
On
there was like
accident.
some wordplay in there.
Right.
So, did you go?
Sax. No, I did not go. I did not go. The party didn't go as planned, so I had to readjust. But I did bring in New Year's with some family, so
Oh, that's good.
That's
it was
good.
it was still a successful New Year's. We had a little party.
That sounds more better anyways.
It was much more fun.
So we ended up going to that party at the Monarch.
I
right?
saw that in the Instagrams.
Yeah, so I have to say, like, I had built that party up because we went last year, and it was really amazing. Like I was building it up to some friends of ours that went with us, and like they were like, yeah, okay, it's everything you said it was. Like, people just wearing like great outfits and like great food. And I only, it sucks. We never did take like a great picture of our outfits.
Yeah.
Which I really, really regret because like we were, kind of rushed getting there, and then it was dark in there, at least where we were hanging out. So like I meant to get a really good picture. I had like this really
The fancy jacket.
the
you
fancy
bought.
jacket, right? And I'm gonna have to take a picture somewhere else and for your approval.
Yeah,
but
you're gonna have to do an Instagram worthy.
I know,
picture.
and I regret like that I didn't get something like
You
that.
have to take those pictures like
Like,
at
right.
your house before
Yeah,
you
I know.
leave.
I know. I meant to like get one there, and then like we kind of staked out a table because we had like this really prime like spot by the dance floor,
Mm-hmm.
and so we were, kind of like had this home base or whatever, and so we should have done it before that, and we didn't. But anyway, I did take
well,
one
next
picture.
time.
I want to show it. So that's us there, and you can't even see the jacket; it's so dark. But the guy in the center, I don't know if you guys know who that is. I've met him several times. That's Eric Dreyer. So he's kind of like a bigwig in like the culinary circles. I think he's from Houston originally, and then he went and did culinary school, and then he was actually Winfrey's private chef.
Oh wow.
And then he was the executive chef at the Ritz-Carlton here in Dallas. And then
Nice.
when the owner of Monarch started the restaurant, they hired him. And he's a super cool guy. Like he's one of those chefs where like when you're at dinner, like he's out walking around and asking you what you liked and all that. Like just really, really good person.
Sound like good vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, he's like really cool. And so we talked to him for a little bit there, and I asked him, because they had all of this food, right, from like Monarch, and there was from Kasaku, which is the sushi place, and I was like, okay, what was your favorite thing, that you made, right? It's like, you made all this food, which one was your favorite? So he made a king crab corn dog. Like a corn dog, but
it was
instead of
stuffed
like a
with king
frankfurter,
crab.
it was king crab. And I had one, like they were walking around with them, and I tried. I was like, oh man, that was so good. And I didn't even realize it was king crab. I was just like, it was just like a really good corn dog. But yeah, I've never heard of a king crab corn dog. Like
That sounds nice.
It's
Sounds
pretty
like-
ingenious,
it
right?
Sounds like a country like crab cake or something.
I know.
Like,
right. Well, it's like something
corn
really
bread.
fancy, but also a corn dog. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like filet mignon, deep fried, and then it's like really good. But
sounds nice.
yeah, the party's awesome. Like, and if you guys haven't checked out Monarch, like I highly recommend it. I do really like that restaurant. Like, it's on the 50th floor, so it's like got these just great views of like everything.
I've heard of it. It's downtown, right?
Yeah, it's on
Which building
Elm.
is it in?
Oh man, I knew you were gonna ask me that. It's right down there. You know where that giant eyeball is across
Oh,
from
yeah.
the Jewel Hotel? It's like 1 block west of that. It's on, I think it's Elm Street.
Okay.
It's either Main. It's not Main. I think it's Elm.
I've heard of
No,
Monarch before.
Commerce. It's on. I can't remember. It's either Elm or, you know, there's those 3 streets down there: Main, Elm, and Commerce. And
Yeah.
there's so many like restaurants and hotels right on there, and I can't remember. Anyway, but just check it out. The only thing is you have to get reservations early. Like,
Right.
the reservations are. You can't just call and be like, I want a reservation for tomorrow night. That's like not happening.
Yeah.
I guess unless you know Eric. I need to buddy up to that guy.
You're
so.
gonna get his cell.
I know, right? Like, Eric, get me in. Anyway, no, it was a great party. We had a great time, and yeah, all good things. So
That sounds.
I just
really
regret
fun.
that I didn't take a better picture. I know you like. I want to get a picture of this jacket and this outfit to show you, and I'm just gonna have to do it some
You
other
just
night.
pretend. You just tell your wife to get dressed up again.
Fashion show in my house.
She's like, "Where are you gonna take me? Nowhere."
I'm gonna take you into the hallway, and you're gonna take my picture. All right. Okay. So, of course, I always like to do segments on things that are in the news.
Yeah.
And I saw an article this last week, and I was like, oh, that's gonna definitely be a segment because it was talking about this new weight loss drug. Have you guys heard about this?
Is it a pill?
It's a shot. It's called tirzepatide. The official name is Mounjaro. And when I was reading about it, I was like, holy crap! Like, this thing really is very, very effective. And so it's there's all these like people now weighing in on it. So these like, I guess, pharmaceutical experts that say how popular a drug might be. So they're saying that this drug may generate between 25 and 50 billion with a B dollars a year in annual sales, and that would make it the #1 selling drug of all time.
So is it like good?
So it is. Yeah, it is. It is
Because
good.
I think it's the same thing that my sister. She's
So this
a
one
nurse.
is.
Oh.
So this one is not. So the FDA has
it not
not
out yet?
approved this one just
Okay.
yet. They're going to this year. Like, it's going to happen very, very soon.
Okay.
But it may be one of the other ones, so we'll talk about that. So this drug is made by Eli Lilly, and it was actually made as a diabetes drug. Like, it's actually already being sold for diabetes right now.
Right.
And it's kind of funny how some of these like really popular drugs actually started as a drug for something else. There's 2 really popular ones that actually were not made for what they're used. One is Viagra.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We did, yeah. Viagra was actually made as a blood pressure medication.
Yeah.
And then they found that it had other effects. And suddenly Viagra became one of the top selling drugs, in the country.
Yeah.
The other one is Propecia, the hair loss drug.
Okay.
It was actually sold as a drug for prostate hypertrophy, where men's prostates get big.
Right.
And then they found that the people who were taking it were growing hair that they had lost. Well, so it's the same thing with this tirzepatide, or Mounjaro as they're going to call it, for weight loss.
Okay.
It was a diabetes drug, and they're like, oh my gosh, people are losing weight. It's similar to Wegovy and Saxendra, which I had not heard of those.
No idea.
It's a similar class. Now, those are made by a different company, okay? And so what this drug is, and I think I got an infographic there. Travis, can you toss that up?
Got you. Give me just a second.
Yeah. So basically, it's a little cartoon that kind of shows how this works. And this is courtesy of Daily Mail. I think they're the ones that made this. So thank you for them for making this great infographic. So it's an injection that you take once a week. So it's a shot. It's like an intramuscular shot. And what it does is it's an agonist, which means it mimics a neurotransmitter that is a receptor in the pancreas. And it's GLP-1, which is glucagon-like peptide. And what that does is that tells you that you're full. So when that GLP-1 receptor gets activated, which this drug does, you feel like you're full, like you don't want to eat anymore. And the other thing is that it's a GIP, which is a gastroinhibitory peptide agonist, which actually slows the activity of the stomach. Because if your stomach empties food really quickly, then you'll feel like you're hungry. But if like you have food in your stomach, you feel full. And so that's what makes this one different. Those other two drugs I was talking about, Wegovy and Saxendra, they only work on that first one, the GLP-1.
Yeah.
This one actually has two mechanisms of action that make it work. And so that's why they think this one's so much more effective. And so you were asking, of course, how good is it? Well, there's actually a study, right? I love research. And so there's a study, I think Travis has got just like the front of it, from a very obviously reputable New England Journal of Medicine, which is very, very popular, very trustworthy. And so it's looking at the effectiveness of this. And I actually have another little chart there, Travis. Why don't you toss that next one up that has, So this is for tirzepatide or Mounjaro, however you want to call it. So it's for people with a BMI over 30. So that's, people who have a little bit more weight on them. I probably wouldn't be, taking this medication. And so they took it for long periods of time. That's the thing, 72 weeks. So over those 72 weeks, if they took 5 milligrams, they lost 16% of their body weight, which averaged to 35 pounds. If they took 10 milligrams, they lost 21% of their body weight, which is like 49 pounds. And if they went up to 15 milligrams, it was 22% of their body weight, like 52 pounds of weight loss. Like that's crazy. I mean, that's huge numbers.
I wonder if they had to tweak it a little bit since it was made for diabetes. I wonder if they had to tweak some of it.
Yes, and so that you're exactly right. And that's very common. Like when we were talking about those other drugs like Viagra and Propecia, like the dosages can be different.
Yeah.
So like, for Propecia, like for hair loss, you only have to take like a milligram. If you take it for your prostate, it's like 5.
Okay.
Same thing for this, but the opposite. Like
Okay.
if you're taking it for diabetes, you take a low dose, like 5 milligrams, and you can up it to like 10 or 15 to get that really kind of effective weight loss.
Very cool.
So compared to those other ones, so it was saying 22.5%. The other two drugs are somewhere between 5 and 15, the competitors. So this one actually is quite a bit more effective, and that's why they think, all the experts saying, this is going to be very, very popular. And so, of course, with any drug, you want to know, is it safe, right?
Yeah,
you don't want
for
to take
sure.
something if, it makes your head fall off or something like that, right? You ever watch those commercials on TV with the drugs, and it's like,
Yeah.
it shows all these happy people, and then,
running around in the
and then
park.
in the bottom it says, side effects are seizures, death, like blood loss, decapitation. You're like, wait, what? I'm not going to take these drugs.
You'll lose your house.
Yeah, it's terrible. Anyway, so I went through all of the side effects. Well, I went through the major ones. And so as you may or may not suspect, they were kind of GI related, like nausea, diarrhea, constipation, like vomiting. And they weren't like bad. I mean, it was kind of like normal stuff, like, 10%, 20% of people had, occasional, diarrhea or whatever. I mean, that's going to happen if you take drugs that affect the, motility of your stomach. Like,
Yeah.
you can have like these like little
Your
side effects.
digestion
Yeah.
process, yeah.
So like the big question for this, which I already know the answer to, is insurance going to pay for this drug for weight loss, right? Because they'll pay for it if you have diabetes because it behooves them to. They save money, by you taking that drug and your diabetes being under control versus not. But the question is, are they going to pay for this for weight loss? And my guess is no. I mean, I just don't think that, I deal with insurance companies a lot, on various fronts, whether it be trying to get them to approve surgeries or treatments for like my wound care patients. And, they really have gotten very restrictive on what they cover.
That's crazy because it's almost like a preventative measure
to
not get diabetes. Because most people that are overweight.
I mean, you're preaching the truth.
Sick.
Like I totally agree with you. I just don't know if they're going to approve it.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do approve it because there are people out there, and for various reasons they can't be active enough to get the weight off like they want, or whatever reason that they are holding this weight that they can't get rid of. And obviously this drug is super effective to help people lose weight, which across the board, makes people healthier. So
Yeah, I think if anything, if people take it, it'll just give them that boost of maybe like
to
motivation.
be able to do, yeah, right.
Because
And
I think of like weight loss in general is just
Yeah.
really hard mentally, and whenever you try and it's not working
Yeah.
for you, you just begin to stop. and
Totally.
that's
I
it.
mean, I see that too in some of my patients. Like the one thing where we do something and people are able to lose weight is like, oddly enough, tummy tucks. Like when people have like really big, like, areas of skin that get in their way, it's hard for them to exercise. Plus they feel like, maybe it's pointless, right? Because they can't fix that. And so like we'll go and do tummy tucks on people, and I have a lot of people come back and say, you know, because of whatever change, now I can do things better, I can lose weight, I can exercise. And you're right, I think this drug might be like that too, where it's like
extra push.
Yeah, it pushes them in the right direction. They lose a little bit of weight. Suddenly, it's easier to be active, and they see changes, and then they, you know, are able to kind of continue that. So, yeah, I hope I'm wrong. So the cost, right? So just, you know, worst case scenario, insurance says, no, we're not going to cover this. You know, you want to know how much it costs, and herein lies the problem. The drug's not cheap. So if you're paying for it out of pocket, and this is estimated, right? Because it's not really released yet. I mean, it's going to be soon, but it's not released yet. So it's about $1,100 a month.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's not cheap. I mean, you're looking at, what is that, $12,000 or $13,000 a year? You know, now maybe if people are paying out of pocket, like that number will go down. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, that's a little bit expensive in my opinion.
That's crazy. How long do you have to take that drug to see results?
So, I mean, in that study, they were taking it for over a year, right? Because they're taking it for diabetes. Now, I mean, you could take it for shorter periods, but you're going to see less amounts of effect.
Yeah.
So, and the one thing I would compare it to, you know, because I always think, okay, how does this compare to other things on the market? So, I mean, you guys ever heard of phentermine, Adipex?
No, I haven't heard of it.
So that's like a really kind of popular weight loss drug that's been around forever. You know, people always ask me about it. And so I was thinking, well, let's compare, you know, tirzepatide to phentermine, because that's always been kind of the classic weight loss drug. So phentermine is a type of amphetamine. You know, it's like speed. And so what it does is it suppresses your appetite. And so you can get it from physicians, but you know, the thing is the DEA really regulates it very highly because it is an amphetamine and it has a pretty high addictive potential. So I've always been like, yeah, I've been like weary to like prescribe it, you know, because I don't know, the DEA is kind of weird these days. Like if you do something minorly wrong, like they can really come down on you. So I'm like kind of super careful about that stuff. So I don't really prescribe phentermine, but it can be, you can get it through a prescription. You normally take it for 12 weeks. That's like the, you know, the on-label cycle. And if you do 12 weeks with that, you lose about 3% body weight. If you do up to 24 weeks, you can lose, you know, maybe double, like 5 to 7. So, you know, you compare that to people who are losing 20%. I mean, the other drug seems to work, you know, more effectively, although in that study it was a longer time frame, right? So there, I guess a good study would be like, okay, what if you only take this new drug for, you know, 4 months or whatever, how good does it work? You know, I guess, well, say 24 weeks would be what, 6 months, 6 months. So that would actually be a pretty interesting study. But the problem with phentermine is it has some side effects. Like one, it's addictive. I mean, it's amphetamine. 2, you can have like heart palpitations, dry mouth, insomnia.
And that doesn't sound very healthy for somebody who's already overweight.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
let's increase your heart rate. That'll help.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of phentermine. Like to me, it just has like too many side effects that
sounds scary.
Yeah, I'm not super into. But
I don't like it.
But I'm eager to see like how it all plays out with this new drug. I mean, you know, the FDA is supposed to approve it sometime, you know, early this year. And it'll be interesting to see, you know, does insurance cover it? And then once people start taking it, like, I mean, you may see this huge kind of change in, you know, where people are suddenly losing weight where they couldn't, which would be awesome.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you bring this up because my sister during Christmas break, she's a nurse practitioner, so she was talking about prescribing one of her patients a weight loss pill or something like that.
Oh, you should ask her what it was.
Yeah, now I'm like, what is it?
I need a full report next week.
Because she was saying how awesome it was, how much she's seen an improvement.
I bet it's one of the other ones, like the Saxendra or Wegovy, because those are out. Those are shots too,
she said it was a newer one. It was something newer. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, is this the thing she was talking about? But for the life of me, I cannot remember.
She might be using it off-label. I mean,
shot.
People do that sometimes, where they'll use a drug off-label if they know it has an effect, and so it might be that one that she's using off-label. I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting.
She was saying how effective it was, and like,
that's so
and then my other sister was like, tell me more.
Tell me more. Yeah, I was talking today. I was in the OR today, and so they're like, oh, you know, they always know I do the show on Fridays. And they're like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, I'm talking about this new weight loss drug. And they're like, really?
I know.
Tell me more.
Yeah, everybody wants in on that.
I mean, well, think about it. If you can take a pill, or in this case, a shot, and lose weight that you couldn't lose before, I mean, who wouldn't be interested in that?
Yeah, seriously.
So yeah, interesting stuff. So, all right, well, let me know what you think about that. If you have any thoughts about these new weight loss drugs, leave us a comment, and we'd love to respond and see what you think about it. So, okay, moving on to our Nip Tuck 911-ish type
Yeah,
thing.
let's see who this TikTok
So
imposter doctor
we
is.
just did a segment on a TikTok doctor, TikTok famous doctor that got in trouble, and now there's another one. Now let me just say that this one is not like the other one. Like I
Okay.
almost wasn't gonna do a segment on this because when I first started reading it, I was like, I mean, there's not a whole lot there. And then I dug a little deeper, and there were a couple things worth talking about. And I'm gonna kind of defend this girl a little bit too, so it's not like all bad. So,
Yeah.
all right. So this person is Dr. Gallagher. She's in Miami. She has, I mean, notoriety on TikTok, like 250,000 followers. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, it's definitely it's more than I have. So, and so she's been around for quite a while, and she's kind of made a name for herself in doing the top surgeries for trans patients, mostly female to male. Like that's kind of what she's known for. And so she kind of came under fire like in the past year or two, and I don't even want to even get into like the politics part of this, but like some conservative groups were getting on to her because they thought that she was like targeting kids to do these surgeries, and she does do trans surgeries on minors, which I've done some top surgeries for trans both directions. I just personally wouldn't do it on a minor. I mean, that's a very controversial topic that I don't know how much we want to weigh in on that. I just personally won't do it. Like, I mean, to me, like something like that really needs to be, the decision needs to be made, by an adult, in my opinion.
Yes.
Just my opinion. And I do those surgeries too. So, but anyway, so because that she was doing that, and because of her TikTok, and like I have a little picture, like, so that next picture up there, like, no, on the next one, yeah. So she says, okay, I do have a question for you. Do you guys know what yeet means?
I mean,
Sarah?
yeah, isn't that when you like, is it, I'm scared to say it now. I don't know.
It's like when you snatch something away, like yeet, like.
No, I don't know. Danica, help him out.
It's whenever, like, if you throw something or whatever, like, I would be yeeting something.
Yeah, throwing something. My daughter's like, she's in the.
My daughter says.
Hey, she
my
definitely
daughter
is a little
says
helper.
it
Yeah, so yeet is
when
to
she
throw.
jumps off something.
Yeah, yeet, right? You throw it, right? So this
She
girl
says
is
that
like,
she jumps.
coming up with these slogans like, yeet the teats, and she calls herself Teetus Deletus or something like that. And so anyway, because of that, like she's gotten, some people like upset with her. And so, I was reading that, I was like, okay, well that's not really, I don't even want to like weigh in that. But then there was something else. So, and this actually is a really interesting like kind of like story within a story, because this is the second time that a TikTok famous surgeon had something kind of blow up in their face due to like their notoriety. Because what happens was she had one patient, and we'll show the video in a minute, but she had a patient that had a problem, and that patient went on social media, on TikTok, where she is, popular, and told the story of how this really bad thing happened, and then all of a sudden everyone came and like, I call it like the dog pile effect. You saw that, remember Dr. Roxy, which was the doctor that we talked about 2 weeks ago, where something happened and people were coming out of the woodwork. And I actually went and I read like all of the, like I took the time to go to like each of their stories, and some of them were legitimate, because you remember that, not this doctor we're talking about today, but the other doctor actually had some really bad outcomes.
Yeah.
But some of the people that came out afterwards, to me, had stuff that was just kind of normal post-op issues, And I think that that's happening here with this doctor as well. But it is a very interesting kind of thing that I just have, thought about, that these people who get famous on social media, if they have somebody that comes out and say that something went wrong, like all of their people are on social media because that's where they get their patients, and then suddenly they get this huge backlash.
Yeah, then all their other patients are like, right.
Yeah. Like I call it like the dog pile effect, which I don't know, I made that up. But anyway, so that happened to her because this one patient came out and said she had a problem, and then like 5 more people were posting like these bad outcomes, supposed bad outcomes. So I'm going to show just a clip of that video, Travis, of the first patient, and then we'll talk about it. So you can roll that if you want.
Please stop scrolling if you or someone that you love wants top surgery. I got top surgery in August of 2022, so this year. And I don't regret top surgery. but I do regret who I got surgery with, and I need to talk about it. The reason it's so important that this is on TikTok is because so is she. She has a massive platform, and her name is Dr. Gallagher. 4 days after top surgery with Dr. Gallagher, my top surgery incision split open and started bleeding. At first, she said that it was just bruising, and then when she saw me in person the day before I flew home, she said that it was fluid buildup and that it had to just bleed out on its own through the open wound. I flew back to Ohio, and the bleeding did not stop. I was waking up to blood all over my clothes and sheets every single day. I could barely move or leave the house. At one point, I did decide a couple weeks after surgery to go out with some friends. I was slow, I was careful, and about halfway through the night, a blood clot the size of a golf ball fell out of me. I was rushed to the emergency room. I was in tachycardia by the time I got there. They admitted me and paged their plastic surgery team. The resident there took a photo, and I sent that photo as well as the blood clot to Dr. Gallagher. She replied back and made a joke that I was menstruating and said I didn't need to go to the ER, even though I'd already gone.
So that kind of goes on, and that patient in it reportedly, of course, I take them for their word, but reportedly had to go to surgery and had like a lot of dead tissue that had to be removed. And so, that video came out and it got like 6 million views.
Yeah.
So many people saw that. And then of course, like everyone else came out of the woodwork. And so, I don't know how much of it is, potentially like legitimate concern, right? Because
It seemed pretty scary.
It does seem scary. There's this saying that if you don't have complications, you're not doing enough surgery, which means if you're a busy surgeon, no matter how good you are, you're gonna have people that have complications.
Right.
And so, having complications does not make a surgeon bad. If there's bad decision making or bad technique, or bad, doctor-patient interactions, then obviously that's bad. But the complications in and of themselves don't necessarily make a surgeon bad. I do tons of surgery. I have patients that have complications. Nothing that I think is, significant, but minor stuff, sure. And that does sound, pretty significant. But yeah, I just wanted to say, also too, that there hasn't been like any board action against this doctor. Whether or not something pops up from this, I don't know. And I'll kind of weigh in on that at the end. But it's really more just like people are talking, and now there's news articles. I kept seeing it like on these different like news platforms pop up. But I did want to talk about a few things, about how she runs her practice that I just, and I'm not picking on her, if anything, I'm defending her a little bit that, well, maybe these are, normal complications. I don't know. But compared to that other doctor who, had really severe issues. But there are a couple things about her practice that I just want to put a pin in, say, okay, is this the best? One is that she does a lot of medical tourism. Like that patient that was talking came from Ohio to Miami, had a surgery, and then 4 days later went home. And so, I just am so against medical tourism where people have a surgery and then leave the area where their surgeon is. You want a reason why it's bad? That's the reason. That patient left, had a complication, and how is the surgeon going to help her?
Right.
Or him, sorry. How's the surgeon going to help him? They can't, and then what happens? They go to another doctor who says, oh gosh, this is a really bad thing, and your surgeon did a bad job. And so, it's just, I worry about medical tourism, and I even have people on social media ask me, can I come to your area and you do surgery? And I'm always like, how long can you stay? Can we do enough follow-ups? And I've had people come from Oklahoma is not that far, but like Houston, but most of those people had family around where they could have surgery and then stay in the area for a few weeks to make sure they're okay. But I don't know, I think she does a lot of medical tourism, and I just am not a huge fan of that. Is it malpractice to do that? No. A lot of people do it, but I'm a conservative guy. I want to make sure people are safe, and I just don't like it. So that was one thing. The other thing about her practice is she does a lot of surgery on people that are categorized as obese. In fact, she actually did a study. She wrote a study, which, that's impressive. She has a study that she wrote, and in it, she was talking about how 54% of her patients are clinically obese. And she even went so far to say is that no BMI is too high for her. BMI is your body mass index. She said no BMI is too large for me in the name of inclusivity. We're not going to turn people away if they're obese, which I mean, I have to say, even in my practice, I will do certain surgeries on people that are a little heavier, but I don't like it, you know, and there is a limit where I just say, look, I think it's unsafe to do this because of your weight, because it's very clearly documented that if people are obese, their risk of infections go up and their risk of wound healing problems go up. And it's like, I don't know, like, so I just put that as a footnote. It's like, okay, I mean, you know, if she's having a lot of complications and those are like the, you know, the more obese patients, I mean, that might be something that just needs, you know, consideration of, you know, do you continue that? And then lastly,
I said, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you feel bad for people, and I'm in the same boat. Like I do tons of tummy tucks, and a lot of plastic surgeons will only cherry pick the really easy ones because there definitely is an increase in complications as people get heavier. And, you know, I kind of feel bad for patients because there are patients who can't like lose the skin or get what they want done, and they can't lose weight. And so like there's in this like perpetual cycle of they can't solve their problem. And so I'll like I talk to people in depth. I'm like, okay, you know, if you're a little bit heavier, like your risks go up. You just have to be aware of that. And if they understand it, and I feel like that they're mature enough to, you know, go through it and be okay if something happens, then I'll do surgery on them.
Right.
You know, but you pay a price for that. You do have patients that, you know, will have healing issues, and you have to like watch them afterwards.
Yeah.
And nothing bad ever happens, but you know, you really like it when things go smoothly. So
Yeah, anybody would.
yeah, of course. And the last thing about her that I have a little bit of beef about is when she wrote her paper, which is very impressive. I mean, I haven't written a paper since I was a resident, so she's out there writing papers now, so good job for her. But she wrote a paper about doing drainless mastectomies for trans patients. And I just am against drainless surgeries when they don't have to be. And so what that means is there are certain surgeries where the standard of care is to use a drain. Mastectomy, tummy tuck, you know, are two classic examples.
Yeah, where you have to like keep the drain like a drain bag like on
Right,
you.
yeah, right. So
surgery,
like, for example, like if you're doing a mastectomy, which is all these trans surgeries are, you're just, before I do it, Travis, I want to show, I had a before and after from her. I want to show that. Can you show that one, Travis? Is Travis there? Did he nod off?
One more time.
Oh, I had a picture that I wanted to show of one of her surgeries. Yeah. So, and this is from her, like that's from her study that she wrote. That's what reminded me. And, you know, that's a classic like female to male trans, you know, mastectomy using a superior flap and a nipple graft. And, you know, her results are good. Like, I mean, the scar's a little, you know, wide for my taste, but I mean, you know, that happens. But overall, good work. You know, once again, I'm saying that, you know, she's a competent surgeon. Like, you know, what she does.
Yeah.
But what I was getting to about the study is that she does these with no drains. And when you do a surgery that historically requires a drain and you don't put a drain in, you run the risk of something going wrong. And going back to that patient that wrote the video, what did she say? Or what did he say? I have fluid coming out of my incision. Well, what happened? Well, the drainless surgery didn't work, right? I mean, and so, you know, and that's one patient, and, you know, in her studies, at least in her study, she reported that she didn't have, you know, a lot of issues with the drainless, but I don't know. I mean, study can be made to say whatever, but a lot of people use that as like a kind of a gimmick, right? It's like, oh, I'm a better surgeon because I can do the same surgery without using a drain. And I mean, I can do drainless surgeries too. I just choose.
Safer?
Right, that's the thing, is like if you put a drain in, there's no downsides to that.
Yeah.
I mean, patients don't like drains, but like it's not like the drain causes a complication, it prevents them. And, you know, I always talk about when people come in for tummy tucks, like, yeah, there are surgeons out there that are doing drainless tummy tucks. And when it works, it's great, but the first patient you have that has a complication because you didn't do the simple act of putting a drain in, it's like, why am I doing this?
Right.
And so, so anyway, and, you know, once again, she had this patient that had a bad outcome because medical tourism and potentially not having a drain in.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, does that mean that she's a bad surgeon? No, it doesn't. It's just, whenever these things pop up, I'd like to educate people, right? It's like, what can you learn from this incident, whatever it is? And, you know, there are a few things to learn. Like, I don't think medical tourism is a great idea. I'm a little bit against drainless surgeries where, you know, where drains are historically required. And if you operate on patients who are, you know, morbidly obese, I mean, the complication rate goes up. So
Yeah, they fit all of those.
Yeah, I mean, she's hitting a couple of those things I really don't like. I mean, so in the end, do I think anything's going to happen to her? Probably not. I mean, I just, without knowing the specifics.
It's probably just a perfect storm, a person that wanted attention, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, well, and a person who had a legitimate, like, I mean, she had a,
yeah, an issue.
Sorry, I keep saying she because it was a mastectomy, but it's a he. I'll get it right. I'm sorry. Apologies.
Or they.
Huh?
Or you can call them they.
I mean, it could have been a they. I don't know. I probably should have checked the pronoun. I don't know. I should check.
You shouldn't ask me. I have no idea.
Anyway, so I mean, this person had a legitimate complication.
They did.
And was kind of in a bad way because it wasn't where their surgeon was, and yeah, it kind of blew up. And whether or not that causes any problems for Dr. Gallagher, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking probably not, but. Boards, you really have to kind of do something egregious for a state medical board to, come down on you. And I don't know if this qualifies without knowing more details.
Yeah.
So, but it's noteworthy. I mean, it's in the news, and so we talk about
something to learn from it.
There is. Sure. I mean, there's a couple things to learn about. If you're thinking about these surgeries, and someone says, come fly to me, you might be, oh wait, Dr. Hermann said that's not a good idea, right? I mean,
why would a doctor from another state want you to?
Well, what they do is let me tell you why it's money,
well,
right?
Yeah,
people claim to be experts in something, and granted, she does a lot of these surgeries, so I mean, sure, I'd call her an expert. She wrote a paper about it. She does a ton of these, and so they use that to get more patients. I mean, she does a ton of these surgeries, way more than I do. I do like 1 or 2 a year for specifically for that reason. So, but anyway, it's interesting stuff. Oh, maybe she should come on. Let's have her on the show. Think she'd come on? Probably not.
Why not?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'd actually like to talk to her about her surgeries because I do those kind of surgeries, and so, I was looking at some of her technique and her results. Like, pretty good results. I mean, the stuff I talked about I don't like, but like her, her technique and her outcome was, pretty good. Come on the show, Dr. Gallagher. Call me.
Tag her.
I should tag her. She's probably got a lot going on right now. She probably doesn't want to hear from us. But all right, moving on. So you're going to do a segment for us, right?
Yeah. So
nice. I'm excited. I love when you do segments. What is it?
It's fashion trends that you can wear now, so you can start buying stuff.
Now, are these
from
new?
These trends
like
now.
Are you anticipating these are going to be new for 23, or they were starting to pick up steam at 22?
So these are things that honestly, trends are always just like recycling, but these are specifically trends that you can go out and start looking for now to wear for this season right now that we're in. So kind of wintry still.
Okay, so still wintry.
Yes, and this is all from research I did on Vogue.
Oh, Vogue?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Vogue knows.
Yeah, Vogue knows.
Well, and so I mean, you probably see these things.
The trend?
You probably see these things like in your store too.
Yeah,
right?
I buy. Like, I'm already looking at stuff like this. I have these things in my closet.
Trend.
What's the trend? Can you spot it?
So, I mean, you got these sleek dresses.
Is it sheer?
I mean, there's definitely some sheer.
Yeah, boy, it is. It's sheer.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
So obviously these are like really fancy dresses, but like my next pictures, if you could show those, these are more of like casual options that you could probably find like at a store, like you could wear yourself. So this chick right here that's wearing more of like a graphic tee, she's just sporting it underneath like a layering piece, which is really easy to do. And then this one in the middle is it's literally just a sheer polka dot dress, which is really cute, and you could wear like a really tight black dress under it.
I like
or
that.
You could do like separates. Yeah.
That middle outfit's really slick, and the third one too. I mean, those are all like really slick.
And then the other part of sheer is this is a lace top, so you could do it like that too.
Nice.
And I actually have a lot of things like that in my closet right now. But yeah. I love it.
I like all of those looks, especially the middle and the right one to me. Like they're just like really kind of pop.
Yeah, these are things that you could wear easy. You don't have to be like a supermodel wearing those like fancy dresses.
I know, right? Because a lot of stuff you really like, it's like,
is it wearable?
Where do you wear it? Yeah, is it wearable, right? It's like my jacket. Like, I can't wear that, to like Chili's.
You could.
I mean, you could. I should wear it.
You'd be the fancy doctor. Chili's.
That makes you eccentric, I think.
Who knows?
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
All right, next one.
All right, so we're spotting the trends. All right, I'm gonna spot it. I couldn't really see the sheer on that first one. I might feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's this trend?
It's frill. No, it's not called frill. It's
You're close.
Fringe.
Fringe and tassels. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Travis. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
So these are actually these are my picks for like for for wearable. But if you go to the next one, hopefully, that one's the one from like the runway.
Yeah, so these are like the everyday ones.
No, I think there was another one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go back. Sorry.
Oh.
I don't know where the other one is, but this one, these are my picks for just like casual. You can find these at the store now. So the first girl is wearing a, I think that's leather, but it's a leather fringe skirt, and that's just really simple
nice
to wear.
Yeah.
And then the middle one's just a simple cream sweater with fringe on it. And then obviously this fringe leather jacket. It's definitely more of a serious, a bigger, obnoxious, more, you know,
it's
French
kind of like
jacket,
an attention piece almost.
I love it. So it looks great.
Yeah, I do like those.
And then I think the next one is gonna so this is
that one's easy. Travis, knock it out of the park, buddy. What do you got there?
Is it leather with white?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I like
kind of.
leather with white.
But it's just leather skirts. Leather skirts are going to be really big this year, this season, especially just if you remember from last time I did some trends, long skirts are coming back. So like midi or maxi skirts, like this girl on the left right there with her little jacket. So really excited about that. I think I purchased one for the store at my store. So I'm pretty excited to have it coming.
Nice. Those do look good. I think those are like really sleek.
Yeah, and then the next trend right here. So this is this is more of the wearable fashion that I found from the runway. And can you spot the trend with this?
Cut out sides.
Yeah. So specifically one-sided cutouts. So
one-sided. So
last time we did the trends, it was all about cutouts everywhere, like all over you.
So the trend is just like it's like mutating.
Yeah. So now it's more.
Like
so now it's more of just like one side. It was called like the oblique trend or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it looks slick. I mean, those are nice looking dressing, and it gives it that like kind of asymmetrical, like attention grabbing because it's asymmetrical. I think.
Yeah.
And it makes even the cuts, like look at the like that black dress.
It makes you look at how the smallest part of a girl, which is their waist.
Yeah.
So
and then like even like the cuts
it.
of those are like oblique. Like it's all kind of like about the angles. Yeah. It's pretty slick.
And then the next one. So the next one is what do you think it is?
They're sweats. They're designer sweats.
No, those aren't sweats.
They're not? Oh, I can't see. Sorry. Okay, Travis, I'm gonna have to phone a friend here. What are we looking at, buddy?
Is it like oversized pants and like crop tops or something?
Close. So.
I think we have another another guess.
Danica, what is it?
I believe it's like kind of like crop tops with like jackets over it, like blazers. I don't know.
Close. It's low-rise slacks.
Oh, low-rise slacks.
So
okay.
low-rise has been coming back, but specifically right now, low-rise slacks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And if you're not really about the like super low-rise, like the girl in the like all gray.
Yeah.
You can shoot for more of the girls that are on the side over there. They're more of like a mid-rise, so not all the way up to your belly button, but like,
Yeah, I have to say, it's hard to tell, like, because I'm looking at the monitor from across the room, I'm like, oh, I thought those were sweats.
Yeah, it's because
I need to get like an iPad.
They're
so
like
I can
super
see
oversized and and they're also dressed just more casual. So this is the next trend. What do you think about it?
I mean, I think they're super cute, short dresses with boots.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. It's pretty girl. I like to call it pretty girl grunge. So they're mixed. They're wearing really pretty schoolgirl-ish dresses, but then they're adding like the grunge to it. So the girl in the white.
So it's kind of a mashup.
Yeah. So the girl on the left is wearing some combat boots, just like on the right she is, and then in the middle she's obviously wearing like a really dark dress. Kind of reminds me of like
Sarah,
a Wednesday Addams.
Is it kind of like a Lolita style?
I don't even know what that means. Yeah, maybe. I guess you can see that.
My 12-year-old daughter is waiting on the fashion.
It's also kind of like the Koga ghetto style, which also originates in Japan.
Yeah, so it definitely has some schoolgirl vibes to it, which Japanese
I mean,
anime
those
is
are
really
super
known
sharp.
for.
I mean, I have to say though, like not everyone's gonna be able to pull that off.
No.
Like, you know.
But it's definitely something to think about. Mixing really typically like girly
like with combat
pieces
boots.
with combat boots.
Or
yeah.
like maybe some like, big clunky leather jewelry or something.
Stuff that
I
makes
like
it a little
that.
bit more masculine.
Yeah, that's really slick.
Yeah.
I like that. It's almost like punk,
It is.
It's like the 90s punk is coming back.
Yeah, for sure. And then this trend is, what do you think?
Yes.
I'm kind of wearing it.
Tie-dye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
called
I love
dip,
your
It's called
jumper.
dip dye.
Dip dye.
Yeah, so
'Cause
it's not like the
tied.
swirls.
Yeah.
Like regular tie-dye is. So this is more, they're calling it like a, I forgot what they were calling it, but I thought it was like more of an elegant tie-dye.
Oh, right.
But it's
a
called
little
dip
bit more,
dye.
I mean, because you don't think of tie-dye as something that, okay, I'm going to wear a tie-dye out to dinner, right?
Yeah.
Typically, right? It's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to wear this tie-dye shirt to like, the beach.
Or a concert.
Or a concert, right?
Yeah.
But these are like upscale.
Yeah, and they seem to
Tie-dye
be
is
more
similar.
geometric. So it's more like, you know what I'm saying? Like the patterns are more like horizontal or vertical. They're not so much like circular in motion.
I like it. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's like different, and that's what fashion is, right? It's finding
Yeah.
the next new thing, right?
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, seriously. Oh, and these are from the runway. This is the tie-dye or the dip
Oh, the
dye from
runway
the
tie-dye.
runway.
Yeah.
So this was my inspiration for finding those pieces.
Yeah. I do love your top. Like, it's
Yeah.
super slick. Like,
I'm wearing two trends. I'm wearing the dip dye and fringe boots.
Oh, you are. You're always like up to speed on all these things.
Yeah.
All right.
What do
You
we
got
got
any more?
next? Okay, and so this was from the runway. This was the Pretty Girl Grunge from
Oh,
the
Pretty Girl
runway.
Grunge from the runway.
Yeah.
That
So
may be
they're-
my fault, sorry. I may have uploaded these like in the wrong order. I
No,
don't-
you're totally fine.
So I'm sorry if I messed up your.
It's super cool. It's cool. We can look at them. But yeah,
Yeah.
so they're all wearing really pretty dresses with more of a grungy
Yeah.
style,
I like it.
with accessories and all that. And
Oh,
then
there's
this
the
was
cutout.
Yeah, this was the oblique cutout.
The oblique
So
cutout.
they're all wearing obviously really fancy dresses.
Look at even like the bottom of the dresses have that like kind of asymmetric
high
kind of.
slit, yeah.
Yeah. I like that. That's pretty slick.
And then this was the
sheer.
low rise.
Oh, that's the low rise. Sorry.
Yeah, low
Oh,
rise
yeah.
trouser.
On the runway, yeah. Now, do you go to the runway shows at all?
The only time I've ever seen a runway show is honestly whenever I go to like the Trade Center.
Go to market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you have a good amount, I would go with you. I've been to one, like, and I thought it was super cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
I just
would
like
be really
fashion.
fun. One of my goals is to get to go to the one in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you have to get like an invite to that, or you can just go?
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause,
wow.
you have to have like a sales and use like business.
Pass
like,
or something, yeah.
You actually have to have a business.
I think
deal,
that they're
but
super cool. I mean, and I know a lot of this stuff, like, people aren't going to wear that like every day, but it's fun to see the fashion. Like, to
Yeah.
me, it's like art, I think of it like,
But that's why I wanted to pick out stuff that was wearable.
yeah.
Oh, and here's the tassels.
Oh, the runway
The
tassels,
French.
right?
This is definitely more beachy vibes,
Yeah.
but they were just saying, you can go out and get this stuff now and make it more winterized, which is how I found those other pieces.
That's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Is that all of them?
Yeah, it was
Those are
super.
awesome.
It was simple, and I was really excited about it because I literally, when I was looking at all of that stuff, that's all in my closet.
Yeah.
But it's honestly because fashion just kind of just circulates,
does,
recycles,
yeah.
like all the time.
Don't
So-
throw away your old clothes, people. Just wait
Yeah.
about 10 years and they'll come back
Buy,
around.
like,
It's like all my
classic-
ripped jeans. I still have all my ripped jeans from the 90s. I'm
Yeah.
not sure I can wear them, but I still have them.
You need to take that shot, I guess.
I know, right? Take the shot. Well, thank you so much. I love when you do segments. They're always good, and I love like
you.
the fashion and stuff. So thank you for putting that together. That
For
was
sure.
awesome. So, all right. Well, I think that's about all the time we have today. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back next week, and we'll talk about the latest things on Nip Talk. See ya.